Welcome to House Lex Estate. Today we're doing a deep dive into the mystery method, the Venusian Arts Handbook. Not exactly our usual source material, but we're here to, unpack it.
Absolutely. Our goal is still the same.
Yeah.
Dig into the core ideas, the narrative, see what it's all about. You were curious, so let's dive in.
Right. So this book, it presents a specific method, a kind of game plan.
Exactly. It calls it the method, essentially a structured approach, primarily for social interactions, particularly in the dating or romantic sphere. It's very much laid out like a playbook. A playbook,
okay. So what's the plot, if you can call it that? What are the steps?
Well, it outlines this multi-stage process. It kicks off with opening. That's just, starting a conversation.
Okay, initiating.
Then there's a big focus on demonstrating higher value, DHV, they call it.
DHV. Showing you're interesting, basically.
Sort of, yeah. Projecting qualities that are seen as attractive within that framework. After that, it moves into building comfort, connection, eventually leading towards seduction and maintaining rapport.
And it gives specific techniques for each stage.
Oh, absolutely. Very specific strategies and techniques for navigating each part of that sequence. Little things you can say or do.
Interesting. So if it's a playbook, where's the game played? What's the setting?
Good question. It's not like a novel with a defined location. Setting is more conceptual. It's the social environments where people meet.
Like bars, clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bars, clubs, parties, even just everyday places where you might strike up a conversation. Those are the arenas where the method is meant to be applied.
Got it. And who are the characters in this social play, metaphorically speaking?
Well, the book very clearly positions the reader as the main character, the player learning and using the method.
Okay, the protagonist.
Right. Then, implicitly, there's the target, the person the interaction is aimed at. And it also talks about other elements like social proof.
Social proof? Like friends?
Yeah. Wingmen, friends, people whose presence or approval can kind of indirectly boost the player's perceived value. It's part of demonstrating that higher value we talked about.
Okay. So let's talk about the core messages then. What are the big takeaways, the main themes running through this?
I'd say a central theme is the idea that attraction and social success aren't just random chance.
Right. It suggests you can learn it, influence it.
Precisely. That it can be understood, broken down, and improved through conscious effort and specific techniques. There's a huge emphasis on confidence, body language, nonverbal stuff, and just generally understanding social dynamics.
And this concept of value seems important too.
Very important. Yeah. The idea of perceiving and projecting social value is really fundamental to the whole system described in the book.
So considering that, what do you think the author was actually trying to do with this book? What was the intent?
It seems pretty clearly intended as a practical step-by-step manual.
Like, here's how you do it?
Exactly. For individuals, presumably mostly men, given the context it emerged from, who want to improve their success in, dating and social interactions. It's very action-oriented.
Okay. Now, any guide like this implies challenges. What are the main conflicts someone using this method might face? And how does the book suggest resolving them?
The conflicts are often internal, actually. Things like social anxiety, fear of rejection, the hesitation to approach someone.
That's reluctance, yeah.
Right. Or maybe difficulties in smoothly moving from one stage of the interaction to the next. The resolutions offered are basically use the techniques.
Apply the method correctly.
Yes. Success comes from learning and applying the strategies effectively. And the lessons that come out of that often circle back to self-improvement, persistence, learning to read social cues better, and critically, practice. Lots of practice.
Makes sense. What about the writing itself, the style, the context?
The style is very direct, very instructional. It uses a lot of its own jargon, acronyms like DHV.
It's like a technical manual.
A bit, yeah. Historically, you have to understand this book came out of a very specific online and then offline subculture focused on pickup artistry and dating strategies in the early 2000s.
Okay, so it has a particular background.
Definitely. And culturally, it reflects certain viewpoints on how relationships start, on social interaction that, let's just say, might be viewed quite differently today or by different groups, ethically and socially.
That's a fair point. It's applying this really systematic, almost analytical approach to something most people see as, organic and spontaneous.
That's what really stands out, isn't it? The codification of it all. It makes you think, how much of our own social behavior is patterned, even if we don't consciously follow a script. Are there underlying methods we all use without realizing?
Yeah, that's a really interesting thought. And for everyone listening, it does raise questions, right? Does thinking about these kinds of frameworks, even critically, change how you see everyday interactions?
Or could aspects of understanding social dynamics, maybe not these specific techniques, but the principles of communication or confidence, could they apply elsewhere, in work or other parts of life?
Definitely food for thought. Well, this has been a fascinating, if unconventional, deep dive.
It certainly has. A
Yeah.
different kind of source, but interesting to analyze.
Thank you for joining us on House Looks Estate as we explored the mystery method. We hope this overview provided some useful perspective on this unique text.
And remember, for more deep dives into all sorts of sources and topics,
Be sure to subscribe to House Looks Estate. Thanks for listening.